Rasayan Devike is the university song Vidyapeeth Geet, which was composed by Professor G.D. Yadav, Vice Chancellor of the Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai, on 27th Feb 2012, the Marathi Bhasha Din. It was released on the occasion of the first Convocation Day on 6th March 2012 in the august presence of the Honorable Chief Minister Shri Prithviraj Chavan, the Minister of Higher and Technical Education Shri Rajesh Tope, and the Chancellor Dr. R.A. Mashelkar.
The theme of the song is to respect nature and be in harmony with it by adopting green, clean, and smart chemical technologies, and to serve humanity with complete sincerity. It also talks about a confluence of chemical sciences and engineering with biological sciences and a world with no pollution, be it land, water, or air. Blessings are sought for disease-free long life. The goddess Rasayan Devika is a symbiosis of the basic concept, and the words have been chosen so as to depict that ICT will add to the beauty and charm of the Mother Nature.
The song was equally composed and sung by ICT students Jitendra Tongaonkar, Ashwini Tilak, Swanand Gangal, Prasad Surve, Sharad Darandale, Aditya Koli, Amrita Bhavne, Rohini Tangsale, Nupur Rathi, and Zui Raut.
Thank you. So even the sun has been celebrating today, which probably has little delayed our program in some way. Our good evening and a very warm welcome to you all to ICT and to this reception to celebrate the grand finale of Silver Jubilee of UDCity Alumni Association. A very warm welcome to our very special guest this evening, Dr. Anil Kakotkar, Chairman Rajiv Gandhi and Science and Technology Commission. On behalf of UDCity Alumni Association, I would like to express our hearty welcome to you, sir, for honoring our invitation to be the chief guest this evening and joining us for these celebrations. A very warm welcome to Professor Sharma, Professor J.B. Joshi, Professor G.D. Yadav, members of the Board of Advisors, our past several alumni who have traveled all the way from US, China, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Aurangabad, Pune, Vapi. I see very large numbers here. The numbers are, I'm told, is close to about 600 plus. It's very heartening to see all of you in very large numbers. This is perhaps the largest alumni gatherings that's probably we are seeing in recent times. It is indeed a very momentous day after a very hectic year of celebrations, activities, and reunions. We have had a very busy program this evening, which has actually started with our alumni taking advantage of the guided tours of ICT, participating in the tree plantations at the hands of the members of the Advisory Council, the inauguration of the renovated Foods Laboratory, and a very enjoyable photo session alongside the iconic backdrop of ICT. In the rest of the program this evening, we will celebrate the champions of ICT who have played an important role in the journey of 25 years of UDCity Alumni Association. We will now begin this program by having the traditional lamp lighting by our chief guest this evening. I now request Professor G.D. Yadav, Dr. Vijay Habu to kindly accompany our chief guest, Dr. Kakotkar, to do the honors of lighting the lamp. I would also like to request Mr. Yashwant Jhaveri, Mr. Kishore Mariwala, and Mr. Lalit Chadda to join our guests. I request all of you to be kindly be seated. We will now have the Saraswati Vandana. I request Jui Raut, an alumni of ICT, to recite the Saraswati Vandana.
या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहार धवला या शुभ्र वस्त्रावृता या भगवती निःशेष जाड्यापहा निःशेष जाड्यापहा.
Thank you, Zui. In a lifespan, 25 years is pretty young. And in many ways, we are just about getting started. But we have a long way to go. To share with us the impact UAA has made over the last 25 years, as well as the plans for the future, it is my pleasure to invite our dynamic president of the UD City Alumni Association, Dr. Vijay Habbu. Dr. Vijay, an alumnus of the batch of 1981 BSc Textiles, who went on to complete his PhD from Leeds University, UK, has been a booster dose to the UD City Alumni Association in his 25th year, bringing in tremendous energy, enthusiasm, and renewed commitment. He has been an active BOG member of the UD City Alumni Association, serving as Senior Vice President for 6 years, from 2007 to 2013, and then taking over as a president since September 2013. Coming from a very demanding professional environment of Reliance Industries, where he serves as Senior Vice President, which typically expects tomorrow's tasks to be completed as of last week, he has kept every board member pretty much on the gas. They have a large producer of gas anyway at Reliance. I'm sure all of you have already had a taste of it with the flood of emails over the past few weeks, challenging the limits of everybody's email boxes. So please join me in welcoming President of UD City Alumni Association, Dr. Vijay Habbu.
Thank you, Nitin. Good evening and namaskar to everybody. Dr. Kakodkar, Professor Yadav, Mr. Mariwala, the Chairman of Silver Jubilee Celebration Committee, Mr. Chadda, the Convener of Silver Jubilee Celebration Committee, Mr. Zaveri, the Senior Vice President of the UAA, distinguished gathering. I can only say that this is a gathering of the greatest proportions I've ever seen. And in the days where the rallies and the sizes of this make a national impact, this is one gathering, although it's not a rally, but it's certainly a rallying force, not for any competing purposes, but it's a coming together of syncretic forces. All of us have come here for the love of our alma mater, which have made us what we are today. And this sense of gratitude is what brings us today, and all alumni association of any institute have this as a common denominator, that to nurture this sense of gratitude. And that is what this alumni association has been doing. And I'm very proud that I've taken over the mantle of an association, an entity which has, in its existence of past 25 years, has seen stalwarts such as Professor Sharma, who seeded this concept, and Mr. Mariwala, who was the first president, both of whom are present here to give us their blessings. Thank you very much, sir. This BOG, of which I'm a part of, is blessed by a great team who is a great mix of energy and experience. And we take a mantle from a team which over the past 25 years has done some yeoman service to the alma mater, some of which could be considered as legacy services, such as granting of loans to needy students, conducting placement services. Some of the presidents have instituted the Best Students Awards. We always encourage factory visits and help the students achieve these kinds of things. But these are the ones which we could see as probably legacy activities, because most of the alumni associations would be doing that. What stands this alumni association apart is somewhere in between, about a decade or more ago, we started a certificate course in technology management, which evolved to a level that it soon became a postgraduate diploma in technology management sometime in June 2010. We are also aware that the institute's infrastructure needs help. So we had, in one of the tenures, a project called Sparkle that was launched, which refurbished the pathways and the walkways all over this campus, this large sprawling campus. So we had several of these activities which have brought or made the UAA relevant to the institute. Any alumni association has to cater to 4 or 5 pillars. As the name suggests, alumni association is to bring together alumni. That's the first pillar. The second pillar is the students, and I'm not counting these pillars in any particular order of hierarchy, but just counting them as such. So the students is the second pillar. The third is the faculty, which create students who then later on become the alumni. So it's the faculty that has to be taken care of. The third is the institute, the infrastructure, such as what we just saw this evening, the refurbishment of a foods laboratory, and some months ago, renovations of other places of this institute. And the fifth pillar are the unsung staff who don't ever get the limelight, but those are the ones who help us plant the trees and dirty their hands so that we can be photographed in a clean way. They never get acknowledged. And it is this fifth pillar also that this alumni association is very aware of that we need to cater to. So this alumni association over a period of several tenures has also instituted several scholarships for students of our staff and also some of the schemes such as insurance scheme for this faculty. These are the legacy courses which this BOG took the mantle from. So it was a very daunting task to take from here onwards, and the only way we could do is go northwards and take it northwards in the upper orbits. And that's why I say that I have a blessed team who in the past 8 months of our existence have been able to do a little bit of things which I'm now about to recount. We started by looking at the governance structure and tried to bring institutionalized discipline in that thing, in the way we govern ourselves. So we had the board of governors to whom we then gave specific portfolios. So therefore we have people or in a board of governors who would look specifically at alumni issues, some would look at faculty issues, some would look at institutional issues and so forth. That brought about a lot of discipline and focus to the activities, but we soon realized that it's the student community, students of today who are going to be alumni of tomorrow, who know very little of the alumni association. And although we do a lot of work, and so we think, that work is never known to the student community. So therefore, as they step out into the real world, come 5-6 years, they then find that there is a very feeble connect between them and the alumni association. So we thought of a novel way. We have on our board of governors a student member formally inducted in the board of governors. So we have a student secretary inducted from last year. And this year onwards, we will be having 2 student secretaries who are permanently on the board of governors. So the connect between us and the students is going to be direct. We gave a lot of awards, and that has been a legacy activity. And there has been a lot of debate, and we should continue these awards or we should add one or curtail some of these things. So we have decided that this being the Silver Jubilee, not only should we continue, but we should honor a lot of people and honor them on the basis of their industriousness and not necessarily on the size of the industry. So you will see today as the evening unfolds, a galaxy of our alumni who have done so well in their own enterprises. And not just that, but they are so kind-hearted, some of which we are going to know very soon. But this is an age where we talk about Mark Zuckerbergs and other people who at very young ages have been billionaires. And it's not just the billions that attract us, but it's the way they have launched different enterprises that have changed the life of this globe, as it were. Should these Mark Zuckerbergs always happen in the US? Wouldn't there such be around us? Surely there are. So we thought of make a beginning right in our midst. And so this year, as a Silver Jubilee initiative, we have started what we have called a Young Achiever Award, and we have an inaugural edition and inaugural awardee in the middle of us. And I'm sure when you read what his accomplishments are, you will feel proud that we have a lot of Mark Zuckerbergs in the making, even within us. It's just that we don't have a platform to recognize them. Like any institute, UA is an engine which needs its own fuel. We are here to serve the ICT, no doubt about it. We are grateful to ICT because it's made us what we are today. This BOG is also grateful to all the past BOGs that have brought this entity to this level, to an evolved level, where it's become relatively easier for us to appeal to you, and which is why we see such a large gathering. But we needed corpus enhancement, and this small function has allowed us to do that. We had set a target of increasing the UAA's corpus. ICT does get its funds, but the UAA also needs its funds, and we have been able to gather close to ₹500 crore as our corpus, so that hopefully we should be able to do some more activities through this vehicle. A lot of times questions arise, are we on the right track? Are we doing the things that are relevant to us? Are we doing things that are relevant, that are needed by the pillars that whom we say that we represent? So there was a time we needed to do introspection. So this BOG conducted an experiment called brainstorming for 2020. Sometime in February, we organized 2 very focused discussions on reviewing what the UAA has been doing and set for 2 visions. Vision for ICT 2020, and we decided to keep the vision in a platform or in an area where it could be easily measurable, not in too distant future. So we said that we will review and set a vision 2020 for ICT, and in the second panel discussion, we had a review to set vision 2020 for the UAA. These 2 turned out to be a great churning, and like this Sagar Manthan, a lot of jewels have come out with that, and that has given clear focus areas for the UAA to work on. Some of these things we have already started. Those have resulted in what we have called a mentorship program. Those of you who had the time to look at the booths, you would find some drop boxes there. They are meant for mentorship programs. A lot of our talent, which is so bright, is not packaged well. And in the days where packaging is very important, we realize that our students and our young alumni, there are several areas in which they need mentorship. So we are launching a program of mentorship, and it could be mentorship in various areas. Mentorship in, for example, language skills, mentorship in presentation skills, career guidance, career counseling, some personal effects, personal issues, any area in which an alumnus feels that he needs a little bit of help, a little bit of shoulder to cry on or rest on. The alumni generation of you can see a large galaxy here. If you are able to spend an hour or 2 per month, we would connect you with these younger alumni and students, and then we could link them up so that they can get the benefit of your years of experience. We also know that gratitude is an innate quality in all of us. It's not just that, few people are generous. Yes, the quantum could be different, but the gratitude, the feeling of gratitude is innate in all of us. It's just that many times people don't know just what to do. Yes, I want to do something good. Oh, what do I do? How do I do about it? So, and obviously the first kind of things is mentorship. So that's not a financial thing. But a lot of times, a lot of us do want to donate in cash. So we are launching what is called an endowment scheme. And Nitin Deshmukh, who is my colleague here, who is conducting this program, has initiated a program of endowment, which will be very shortly announced to you. And for making all these announcements and everything, we realize that we are living in an era which is far removed from trail mails, where communications are not physically delivered, but communications are delivered in the e-space. So we realize this probably a little late, but nonetheless we have realized that, and we now have in place a very dynamic website, which is not only aesthetically pleasing, but it is full of very functional utility. Please visit all of those who have not visited so far, and you would have recognized that even for this function, such as today's, we had a wonderful system of registering it. So we knew the kind of levels of attendance that we would have today. But that's just one part of it. That website is going to provide a space and exchange for placement, a placement for mentorship, and a lot of other useful things. And most importantly, it's going to be a platform where batchmates long lost because of the various pressures of life can connect themselves, because you will soon find all your batchmates there with their photos. So the website is up and running. We also have a monthly communication system, the e-newsletter. And I'm proud to say that we initially had reservations whether we'll be able to maintain it. But I can say with a degree of pride that for 6 months, without fail, we have been publishing it, and that too in the first week of the month. So the communications with our stakeholders is now quite enhanced and almost real-time basis. And that is the kind of steps we are taking in the days to come, a lot of these things will be explained to you through these two mediums, namely the website and the newsletter. Today, many of the functions will revolve around felicitations and awarding. We have amongst us stalwarts who have reached great heights in the upasana of Saraswati and the gaining of Lakshmi through that thing. And the way they have done it is, they are not just gained the heights for themselves, but they have reached levels of, as they say in Maslow's principle, a stage where self-actualization has happened, so that they want to give more. And it is said in the Bhagavad Gita, Datavyamiti yaddanam diyate nupakarane deshe kale cha patre cha taddanam satvikam smrutam. That means dan of any kind, if it is given at the right place, right time and the right cause, is considered as the sattvic dan. And a lot of us here are sattvic danis, and not because you have given money only in terms of money, but a lot of you are giving time for the right cause and right place. So all of we are, this is a gathering of sattvic people. Today one of the felicities is going to be Professor Joshi. Again, I take back on what can be arguably the best gift of India to mankind, that is the Bhagavad Gita, which says, how should knowledge be? Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyayabhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tapa uchyate. That means anudvegakaram vakyam. That means that knowledge or the pursuit of knowledge which does not cause anybody any detriment or harshness. That knowledge is something which we should cherish. And in Professor Joshi and our great chief guest of today, they exemplify these principles that India stands for. Friends, I won't stand too long between you and the main functions, a lot of which is going to be a star-studded program. But I would just like to say there are a lot of things that are going to happen over this evening. Please enjoy them. We have started a little late, please pardon us, but it was the sun god which has kind of made us wait a little longer. And in the course, if there are some mistakes that are happening, I would just like to seek your forgiveness, because it's said in the Mahabharata, na vidhim grasate pradnya, pradnyam cha vidhi grasate. That means, a lot of times vidhi is not so important, but the cause of celebration, that is the pradnya, that is more important than the vidhi. So if in the course of this conduct, if there are any mistakes, please pardon us. Remain engaged with us. There are going to be a lot of programs in the next several months. We will communicate with you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Vijay. It's been a hectic volume of activities at a very hectic velocity, I must say, in the last few months, which has kept all of us busy, as you can see. I would now request the members of the Board of Governors of UDCT Alumni Association to formally welcome Dr. Kakodkar and the dignitaries on the dais with the bouquet of flowers. I request Mr. Parasu, member of the Board of Governors, to hand over to flower bouquet to Dr. Kakodkar. Mr. Vengsarkar, to Mr. Vengsarkar to Mr. Kishore Mariwala. Dr. Alpana. Mr. Vengsarkar to Kishore Mariwala. Mr. Rajan Vaidya. Dr. Alpana to Professor Yadav. Mr. Rajan Vaidya to Dr. Habu. And Mr. Vijay Sane to Mr. Lalit Chadda. Mr. Sanjay Mehendare. Mr. Javeri. Thank you all. Now release the souvenir published specially for this occasion. This souvenir is quite unique in a way. It profiles the activities of the UDCT Alumni Association over the past 25 years articulated by the ex-presidents themselves. It is a record book which, besides enumerating the achievements of the UAA, also seeks feedback from several past distinguished alumni as to how ICT has helped them and what UAA can do to be more relevant to all stakeholders. You will also observe a page at the end of the book that has been specially designed for you to take autographs of the distinguished guests, scientists at ICT, the Padma winners, and probably the future Padma Award winners here. For this souvenir, we would also like to acknowledge tremendous effort of our BOG member, Mr. Ravi Raghavan, Vice President of the UAA, who single-handedly completed the compilation of this book in spite of a very busy schedule as a publisher of Chemical Weekly. In fact, he made sure that these got delivered to us yesterday before taking off to a flight to the US for a conference. Can I now request Dr. Anil Kakotkar to kindly do the honors of releasing the souvenir? Thank you, Dr. Kakotkar. Many of us who have been visiting ICT over the last few years have been a witness to radical transformation of the institute from a dark, sleepy, stony place with wooden notice boards pasted with layers of paper to a very modern, bright, and colorful place with bright colored LED boards, renovated and clean, well-lighted corridors, technology-enabled classrooms, and meeting rooms. While many of the past directors have played a key role in this transformation, especially over the past 10 years, one person who is setting very high benchmarks, whether it is on leadership or academic excellence of the institute, raising resources for the institute, creating new infrastructure, professionalizing the institute, and galvanizing the University Alumni Association is the current Vice Chancellor. He's an exceptional combination of leadership and academic brilliance who has guided 75 PhDs and 68 master's theses, holds 61 international patents, has published over 300 international publications, authored and co-authored 3 books, written literary articles and poems. The number of prestigious honors, fellowships are just countless, and I can just go on and on. He was also the secretary of UAA for a period of 2 years, from 1999 to 2001. Interestingly, I was told that when many were questioning the very need of the UDCT Alumni Association, it was Professor Yadav who strongly advocated and pushed for the need of the association and demonstrated the benefits to all over the past several years. Welcome, Professor Yadav, Vice Chancellor, ICT.
The chief guest for this evening's grand function, Padma Vibhushan Dr. Anil Kakotkar, Chairman of the Rajiv Gandhi Science and Technology Foundation Council of Maharashtra Government, Dr. Vijay Habbo, the dynamic President of UDCT Alumni Association, Shri Kishore Bhai Mariwala, the past President and the distinguished alumnus, Shri Lalit Chadda, the past President of Alumni Association, Shri Yashwant Javeri, the Vice President of Alumni Association, Shri Nitin Deshmukh, Padma Vibhushan Professor M.M. Sharma, the former director, Padma Bhushan Professor J.B. Joshi, the former director, Padma Shri Dr. A.V. Ramarao, distinguished presidents of the Alumni Association, past presidents, distinguished alumni, fellow alumni, my dear colleagues, students, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. What a joy today to see all of you this evening for this momentous occasion. The UDCT Alumni Association was founded 25 years ago on 11th May 1989. Coincidentally, it has been declared as the National Technology Day, so as if this is a tribute to our mother institute. At the very outset, let me congratulate the distinguished alumni in the entrepreneurship category. We have been bestowing on this honor for last 3 years, and we added the Young Achievers Award winner this year. So this is a unique function. Ladies and gentlemen, in 1999, we had celebrated the decennial jubilee. And in fact, we had a very unique program that time. That is the connectivity and the relationships within the institute. And we found one Dr. Malshe having so many relatives who were graduates of our institute. Quite a few of you have married students of this institute. I'm one of them. And also have your children and grandchildren as students of this institute. It's a great institute. However, something which is noticeable and very extraordinary this year was the President of India announcing the bestowal of Padma Vibhushan on Dr. Mashelkar, the Chancellor of this institute, and Padma Bhushan on Professor J.B. Joshi, the former director. This is a singular honor to this institute, and we are immensely pleased that the institute is recognized across the country and across the globe. And it was also very appropriate that the 80th year of foundation was celebrated when the President of India, Shri Pranab Mukherjee, visited this institute on 27th of December 2013, which was a valedictory function, as well as the inauguration of ChemCon 2013, which was specifically organized by the Indian Institute of Chemical Engineers in honor of the Institute of Chemical Technology. And Shri Pranab Mukherjee paid very laudatory tributes to the institute and its contributions. So we were very happy that the President of India has recognized two of our alumni with the bestowal of the Padma Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, the institute has grown to be a premier institute in education, training, research, and now I can tell you some of the important things which will make you feel proud. The list of achievements is enormous, and this year we published the annual report, which is in 2 volumes, which is again a record. What we did last year, we published 586 peer-reviewed papers for a faculty of 75, which is a record in the country. We have, over the last 10 years, 310 patents, which is again a record for the institute of this size. And we founded 2 companies under Section 25 of the Companies Act, and we'd like to build the foundation of this institute, and about which I will talk a little later. Not only that, the students and faculty have been winning several awards, and I must mention very important awards, and that is we won 5 Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation's awards of 100,000 each, which is a record for the country. And we are very proud that the ICT flag has been fluttering in the United States. We have signed several MOUs with different industries, and 6 of the CSR laboratories are partners with us. And all of this has been possible because of the glory and grittle the alumni and the students and faculty have brought to the institute. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to be an innovative university. The UGC announced a plan to that effect. We also applied for it. Unfortunately, because of some problems at their end, that was postponed, but that is something which called the RUSA, Rashtriya Uchatar Shiksha Abhiyan, under which they are going to consider the foundation of innovative universities, and I'm sure we will be qualified for this great thing. What we are going to do, the teacher-centric teaching methodology will now give way to content-centric methodology, and learning will be based on cultivating the natural curiosity of individuals. You know that today's students are much smarter than the teachers because they can have information available from the internet. So the teacher has to be all the time innovative, and we have to ensure that the new tools of IT will be used for developing content and also visual depictions of the important experiments. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the things which we have adopted is the classroom attendance by electronic means. The moment the teacher enters the classroom, he will have an iPhone with him, he will put his own biometric mark, and the students will thereafter do it, and the class will be closed at the end, and this will be available on the internet. It will be available to me and the other officers. So you will know the students who are attending the classes, the duration of the class, who is teaching, who is not teaching, and those who are absent, an SMS will be sent to the parents and the student that you are not attended today. So that way, we make the students responsible. We make the teachers also responsible because they cannot bunk the classes under the pretext of this or that. So that is a very revolutionary step which we have taken, and I'm sure the students will like it because that is the way we have to be in today's technology-savvy world. Dr. Habbu quoted quite a few of the Sanskrit stanzas. I will tell you something. Chakshurvai satyam is what we say. That is, seeing is believing. Actually, the Greeks have a philosophy, Chakshurvai asatyam. What you see is not to be believed. It is something beyond that at the nano scale. Are we doing something? Are we imparting that? And therefore, as a stakeholders of this new knowledge, these knowledge engineers, so-called knowledge engineer courses, we have to go beyond that and have a X-rayed vision which can penetrate the walls and see what is beyond that. And this is where our technology development will be very, very important. Ladies and gentlemen, I must also tell you that the government of Maharashtra has been very kind with us. And we became a deemed university on 12th of September 2008. And we have been progressing very rapidly. When the Honorable Chief Minister, when he was the Minister of State for Science and Technology, visited this institute, he said, why the government of Maharashtra is not recognizing your talent, and I will be your brand ambassador. In fact, unfortunately, none of the Maharashtra ministers or secretaries attended it, and he did not like that. And he mentioned this in his speech, that I'm unhappy that the Maharashtra government is not here, the institute is so great. And he assured that he will help us. Luckily, he became the chief minister, and I went to him and I said, sir, you have to help us. Ladies and gentlemen, on 20th April 2012, in the State Assembly, the Honorable Chief Minister announced that the Institute of Chemical Technology will be an allied institute and center of excellence like IITs, Indian Institute of Science, and IISERs, which is a unique distinction given to a state institute, and that also in the State Assembly. As a follow-up, just now we have got the statutes as per this. We went through a lot of deliberation. I had to do a lot of background work behind the screen, and now our statutes are approved, and all our faculty will retire at the age of 65. And The beauty is that those who are holding distinguished chairs on endowments and those who are fellows of national academies will retire at 70. So that is something which you have done in order to retain talent. And you will also see that just nearby, you see the building, which is the faculty tower. Now this faculty tower, this hostel which you see, also is a gift of our alumni. Professor Joshi started it, and we had only 25 lakh coming from UGC. Rest of the money was generated. Now this particular building, supposed to be 16 crore, but we have built it in 10 crore. So we have saved money by our smart ways. You know, these days people inflate, but we have reduced the money. So this will be 40 flats, which will be unveiled on 1st October 2014, our foundation day. So please mark in your diary. Some VIP will come to inaugurate this building. We are ready with all the things. Ladies and gentlemen, these things are not possible without the help, without the space and ambience and infrastructure. And we have been requesting the state government to grant us at least 200 acres of land for creation of a satellite campus. Now you know that in today's world, to generate 200 acres of land through government is a difficult task, but we are marching towards that. We will get some land in near future. I'm hopeful that it will happen within a month's time, so that we can have additional campus where we will have several centers of excellence. Several centers of excellence, incubation center, entrepreneurship development center, center for infectious disease control and prevention, center for energy engineering, center for green technology, you name it, center for the Curie, the center for undergraduate research in engineering. And many of these things would not be possible without money. Dr. Habu mentioned about it, but I will tell you something. Even now we are waiting for the sun to go down so that we can have, this meeting. You can see that this was created in a week's time, in first week of March, this particular stage. Now we did not put the canopy on this, but we'd like to put a nice canopy on this, okay? So what I'm suggesting that we can do all these things through your support. No money is big, no money is small. And I'm going to appeal to you, this is a challenge, that there are many of you here, you can help us under the so-called corporate social responsibility. We are preparing a very big plan, and our idea is to have an endowment of at least 500 crores, which we should build within next 2-3 years. That means the time begins now. And to add to the BT, this endowment does not become big unless we start contributing. Dr. Habu has been always requesting me, what about Alumni Association? And because Alumni Association job is to help the institute, but also to cater to their needs, we also need an endowment. So what I'm suggesting is the following, that those of you who can donate through a companies can get 100% tax benefit if you donate to ICT. You can start right now. So for the Alumni Association, this Silver Jubilee Fund we will start, a Silver Jubilee Fund. And on behalf of my wife and myself, I donate 25,000 rupees to that. My wife is a very generous lady. Unfortunately, she's not here. She's in United States. She asked me this morning, she said, you can please tell the Alumni Association that she would like to donate some money. And I said, okay, no problem. All of you, even if you write a check of 10,000 rupees, you can write more than that, this fund will immediately grow. So I'm appealing to you, those of you who have brought the checkbook, write the check, or you can send the money next week. There is no problem, because this will be our UDCT Alumni Silver Jubilee Fund, which will have enough corpus so that we don't have to wait for the sun to go down. We can have many other things which we can do with this money. Ladies and gentlemen, I was particularly overwhelmed when at 4 o'clock this afternoon, in my office comes Sri Sunil Vanarase with his family and says, "Sir, I want to donate this to the institute. This is my gratitude." He has not allowed me to tell the number or the figure what he has donated, but it is substantial. Sri Vanarase, we are overwhelmed by this. I could not imagine that the check of such a big value has been donated to the institute. And he says, no strings attached, you do what you want to do. So this is the spirit. This is the spirit. It is not that the money counts. I tell you, our institute has something which is great. And I will tell you that, what is great. The rich studied here, the poor studied here, the privileged studied here, the underprivileged studied here, the marginal studied here, the poorest of poor studied here, and they made it big. So I'm asking my students, do not underestimate yourself, who you could be tomorrow. You could be one of the big persons who is sitting in this gathering. And that is the message of this institute. Ladies and gentlemen, the institute grows because of 4 pillars. That is, the alumni, the students, the faculty, and the support staff. And we would also like to do something for our support staff. It's not that we should only think, because the support staff is equally responsible for bringing us to this glory. So I'm very happy that some of the companies have been helping us through that effort, but I would appeal to you to do something for the support staff also. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, if we want to be big, we need quality faculty. We need your time for teaching our students. Recently, we advertised 46 positions, including 4 endowment positions. We need the best of people so that the institute grows. The government of Maharashtra has also assured me additional 52 positions. And we will also get some support staff. And personally, our ambition, my ambition and my institution's ambition is that we should have a strong faculty of 500, 5,000 students. That is, will be a ratio of 1:10. And we should have a very big campus and all these technology centers. What also we'd like to do? We'd like to adopt sick industries, those which are not making profit. We will adopt them and give group consultation and share the profit when they come to a stage, because that is our commitment to society. Ladies and gentlemen, chemical sciences, engineering and technology is at a receiving end. General public believes that this is the place, these are the guys who are creating a lot of pollution. But that is not true. So if you come and visit all these laboratories, you will see that we have been adding to the beauty and charm of this life. And at the same time, in my poem, I said that, biology and chemistry will come together. And tomorrow's world will be boundaryless world. And that is what is happening. So in this regard, I want to quote, and that is there. You can see that particular poster in the main foray, main corridor. This is by J. Craig Venter. Who was J. Craig Venter? J. Craig Venter was one of the American soldiers in the Vietnam War. He wanted to run away from life and started swimming across the sea. He was caught and taken back. The American government doesn't pardon their soldiers. After his service, he went to United States, did his PhD, and he's the person responsible for this genome. He's the person who started the first synthetic life. And what does he say? He says, in my experience of war, peace, and science, I realized one thing, that is, we have only one life to live on this planet, and to add to the beauty and charm of life, and to add to the beauty and charm of society. There is no afterlife. The only afterlife you have is that people will remember you what he did. So my appeal to you is you will be remembered by the institute and thousands of students in future if you do something for this mother institute. So my appeal to you is let us build a big institute which vibrates. And it's not short of any money. If we create an endowment or a foundation of 500 crores, we can run our own because it will give me about 50 crore, interest. We can run the institute beautifully. Right now, without, just government gives me just salary, which is only 60 to 65% salary. The salary doesn't come on time. I have to generate funds, and only it comes after the year is over. So you can imagine, we don't get any development grant. So we are running this show with the help of our alumni and industry and the industrial consultation. Ladies and gentlemen, I open my heart before you, and I'll say this, that we need you, we need your wisdom, we need your time, we need your mentorship, we need you as our role models. Please help this institute grow. No single man can grow the institute. It is always a collective effort. So be a partner in this institute building. And knowledge comes from all direction. Ano bhadra kratuo yantu vishvada, that is what Rigved says. And Vinda Karandekar had said somewhere, देणाऱ्याने देतच जावे, घेणाऱ्याने घेतच जावे. तुम्ही द्या, आम्ही घेऊ. तुम्ही चिकार द्या, पहिल्यांदा प्रेम द्या, पैसा नंतर द्या. धन्यवाद.